Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to the first Startups Meetup. Great to see you in such large numbers as well. We don't even have enough chairs for you all, but it's good. You've probably been sat down all day typing away, so now you get to use your core a little bit. Feel free to do squats when you want, star jumps, whatever you want, yeah? If you do get tired and want to change with someone, just find somebody who looks like they need to stand and tell them, hey, swap with us. But the plan today is that we're not going to be speaking for too long, but we're going to be speaking with some quality content for you. First of all, a shout out to a few organizations and people. Big thanks to The Works. Tamara over there, give us a wave. This is part of The Works co-working space, open 24/7, all year round. Tamara's been a key part of the co-working story here in Split. Back in Whip on Jan, then running bastardized co-working spaces in a few places before turning Circus into what it is now, so The Works. So if you are looking for an office space, get in touch with Tamara and check it out afterwards if you want to. I don't think anyone's working anymore. We're all lazy. Big shout out next to Studenski Poduzetnički Inkubator, SPISP. So shout out goes to Lana, Nicolina, and Marco, who are here tonight. SPI have been working in this sector for the last 7 years. They've been organising shitloads of stuff. Some of the things you might have heard of are Stolp. Have you heard of Stolp? Thank you. A bit of noise. Stolp is an annual competition for student startups. GEW, Global Entrepreneurship Week. Have you heard of that? Wow. So that happens in November every year, brings in panelists, and as part of that we also see Smart City Hackathon. So that's about coming up with smart solutions for Split. Something coming up soon, Hack for Split. Who's heard of Hack for Split? They've got my team. I paid them. Hack for Split's a social hackathon, happens every year. I'll tell you more about that later. Actually, I won't. This guy will. He only found out 5 minutes ago. Block Split is coming as well. So SPI helped organise Block Split. Blockchain conference. By the way, all of this stuff I'm saying, Lana's making me say. Then we have the Green Digital Hub, which is a collaboration between a German, Spanish, and Dutch university with the university here in Split. Project for the next year, 2 years. So there's that nobody's heard of yet. And also soon for the creative industries in Central Europe, SPI will also be running a project. So they're doing loads of stuff here for the tech sector, for the creative sector, and a big part of creating this, along with Split Tech City. And we have all three of them here. We have Nicolina, we have Tony, Romana. Where's Romana? Over there hiding. And we also have their younger representatives. They're in the back corner. We have Timea, Lana, Marina, and Carlos. A round of applause for all of them. So this is an Udruga, a non-profit organisation, fully funded by over 8 companies here in Split. The direction of it is decided by the tech community, and it includes people from institutions like the university, for example, other non-profits, companies, individuals, to improve, to grow, and to develop the tech community here in Split. And again, along with Nicolina and Lana, we've been thinking about this meetup for a long time, and then finally here, 2023, we're finally running it. So, thank you for coming. Applications, 20% of people here tonight are currently students, whereas 80% of you are either working with, or supporting startups. So that's who you are. Look around, maybe you know some people already. 10% of people here are named Ante or Ivan. Yeah? Normal. Spisky Jib. And we were looking through your interests because we wanted to make sure we asked these guys here questions that will be interesting for you. So interests included how to start a company. What is a startup? How to get investment, a big question for everyone. The differences between running a software and a hardware startup, laws and regulations, and then our topic tonight, which is how to leave Croatia, but without leaving Croatia. So the idea of this is actually there's a lot of opportunity here in Croatia that you can kind of benefit from and you can use both professionally and personally. But a lot of people feel like the grass is always greener. You have to leave Croatia to be able to have a good life, a good business, etc. Tonight we have 3 guys with us who are going to tell you why they stayed here. So I'd like to welcome up to the stage, first of all, Dario Boras from Parklio. Ivan Mrvoš from Include. And the Mario Frančešević from SeekandHit. Okay, for everyone around there, you won't see my face now. You're lucky. Okay, cool. Thanks for coming, guys. So they have no idea what I'm going to ask them, as always. I don't believe in panel discussions where they plan ahead. So the topic is leaving Croatia without Croatia. But before we get into that, you have a minute just to say who you are, what you do, what your company is, and what the company culture is. So we're going to start with you, Dario.
Okay, should we do it in English? Croatian,
English, please.
English, okay.
To everyone.
Yeah, sure thing. So, hi everyone, my name is Dario, I'm the CEO of Parklio. We are a company specialized in smart parking development. We're super proud that our headquarters are here in Split. We are present in approximately 55 countries worldwide, and this year we've been voted among 50 fastest growing companies in Central East Europe.
You were like, oh, I have to do it in English.
Okay.
You've done it many times. Ivan, over to you.
Yeah, okay, could we just ask for water?
Water, yes,
Okay,
yes.
yeah. Bilo je dobro malo vode, crkniću. So yeah, hi, my name is Ivan. I'm running Include, a company that does smart city products. You probably already heard for the benches. We are now doing some other stuff as well, so you'll, I hope, hear more about that later. And we are located here in Solin for the past 9 years. It's going to be, ja mislim svima zapravo da. 9 years this year. And yeah, that's basically it.
Excellent. Thank you, Ivan. And last but not least, Mario.
Mario Frančešević, founder of SeekandHit, tech marketing company, started 15 years ago as a performance marketing company. And along the way, we kind of steer away just from the services, offering also the tooling. And one of the tools that we made, we also spun off into the startup that we sold. And that actually sparked a growth that we had in the last 10 years. So we are 65 people right now. And that startup that we made was like 11 years ago. And yeah, a lot of stuff happened in that period. I don't know what was the second part of the question.
It's right, everyone forgot
about
that
the
part.
company culture.
Oh, yeah, go for it, yeah.
Yeah, I think we have a great bunch of people right now. We doubled in the last 3 years when pandemic started. And I was just talking to one guy here that how I am actually super proud of the whole thing right now, and it feels like at home, you know, when I get to in the company. We started working from the pandemic. When it started, we started working a lot on communication and stuff internally because we haven't done it before, you know, that way. When pandemic hit, it was kind of challenging. We needed to change a lot of stuff that we communicated about, the way I communicate with the people and the management. So it was interesting also, and I think it will just get better. We kind of try to improve on all fronts, and we started 2 years ago. We started also being part of the national service for the employee satisfaction. So we started as in our category 2 years ago. We were like 17th from 30 companies, I believe, and now we're at 6th. So we kind of hope that we will get to the at least number 3 in the next year or two. So yeah.
Do you know who's number 1?
Well, the usual suspects. It's like Infinom and Productive and the Q agency. So those companies, so well-known Zagreb companies, but we hope we will be the first ones from Split. So yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, round of applause, Mario, please. So obviously this is a startups meetup. So first question is, do you see yourself as a startup still? Yes or no?
Yeah, absolutely, all the way along. I mean, you're a startup until the point you feel that you can still scale a lot, and that would be my definition. When you still have this gut feeling of extreme possibility of scaling, yeah, absolutely, we're a startup.
Ivan?
I'm not sure. I think that the main question is what we can really define as a startup, especially here in Croatia, because I mean they're literally even trying to call Konzum a startup because we don't have enough good startups and big startups or unicorn startups. So everybody's startup here. At least it seems like that. So we probably still are a startup company, but it's something that's also bothering me for the last year or two. Are we still a startup company? I agree with what Dario says, but I think it's also much more than just scaling and revenue. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think that we are a startup. Basically, we're more of a stay up, I would say. It kind of, I mentioned the tool and the product that we made along the way, and that just happened because we had a certain need, but it happened with in a way we didn't really plan it to have it as a startup. I could talk a long way about having a product inside of the agency or service business and why it's not good, but we've been also lucky. So at some point I would say we had that startup thing happening, but in the long run we're just running a business, so we don't even think about certain things about as a startup. So for us it's more about building consistently stuff that we know and being better every year. So yeah, and as I mentioned, it's a serious business, so we can't really tell it's a startup. Maybe the things that we work on and we kind of try to span off at certain points, but we managed to do it once. We failed a bunch of times because the first one that we made was a successful business and the sale, basically acquisition, and we tried like 5 times more and failed every time because we kept it inside of the company. We never really thought of it as a separate entity, and we never thought of building it from scratch, and we kind of it was like a bastard child, in a way. So we spent a lot of money on those things, and it's kind of now we know that it needs to be a little bit different. So,
Okay. You need to
push
push it out.
Yeah, push it out of the house.
Yeah. Okay. Not
So
longer
as soon as
bastard
possible.
child.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Cool. I just wanted to know: is there anyone here that works for Parklio? Me. Just one. Anyone that works for Include?
They're not going to say.
Oh, there we go. And anyone working for SeekandHit? There's one at the back. It's mine. It's mine.
Yeah, really.
There you go. Okay, cool. So we're going to go straight into leaving Croatia.
Yep.
The first question is, have you ever had the opportunity to live outside of Croatia and set up a business there?
Yeah, I did on 2 occasions. The first one back at university where I had like an agreed major study to go to Vienna. As a little boy, I was watching like cartoons, and that's the way I learned German. So I always wanted to live in Germany. And back at university, I'm a software developer by vocation. I wanted to leave Croatia because I always envisioned Germany and Austria like promised countries. And I think a month or 2 before having to depart, I had a discussion with one of my 2 best friends at university, like, let's do a company here. Looking back, what an idiot, but yeah, we did it. And then we stayed in Croatia, founded a company, and the second opportunity came in 2017, where we went to Singapore, where we pitched Parklio, and we voted as the world's second best early stage startup in the world. And then we had the offer from the government in Singapore to, come live in Singapore, have a company, and get really good funding, but we declined. One of my friends, co-founders, had a baby coming, so we decided to stay in Croatia, and I really don't regret it. They often say it's much better outside, there's much more money, there is this, there is that, but those are all BS's. I mean, it's always going to come down to the team. So basically, I would say that's the more important stuff. Okay, I mean, the environment is important. It's much easier, for example, to get funded in San Francisco. It's much easier somewhere abroad to have like a relationship with multi-corporates and get those things, but having a good team can surpass all of those things. So being badly funded, not having connections on a national level, good team can surpass everything. So from my point of view, location is irrelevant, team is number 1. So
Okay.
yeah.
Perfect, thank you. Tell us a bit more about that Singapore deal then, because obviously you went there with Get in the Ring.
Yeah, it was Get in the Ring in 2017. We were voted as the best in Croatia. Then we went to Singapore. We pitched there for 5 days. 6 days we were voted as the best among the 2 best ones, going to the finals. And then we had to call Zagreb and ask, can you extend us the hotel and the plane ticket because we went to the finals, because they already paid everything to get back home. And it was 2017. We had no money. We invested everything in the company, so I didn't have the money to pay for the hotel. So I was quite scared at that point in time. But yeah, luckily they extended it. So yeah, then I mean, all the doors open. There we had like thousands of people coming, visiting, and Singapore is really. I don't know if anybody's been there, had any contact with entrepreneurs there. It's really a phenomenal country. There is so much power happening there. So many powerful, influential people and companies. So we were really in the spotlight. And on top of that, the government has a completely different relationship with you as a startup. They really nurture you and try to help you. And yeah, it was a great story. The first day we came, there was a guy, the guy from the government, right? It's like envision some of our ministers coming here tonight and speaking about startups. It was that type of scenario. And he's saying like, we only have one problem. We have too much money and not enough startups. So the only thing we can do is put some sand in the sea to expand, but what we really need are startups. We have the money. So that was really hit to me because I came from Croatia, and I remember 2017 coming back to the airplane and watching TV, and there was a moment with Kerum with Pršuton cello, and I'm like, what did I just do? I'm staying in Singapore, so it was quite fun. Yeah.
But they don't have parachute in Singapore.
Luckily, no. Yeah,
So
they don't put everything on your head. No.
That's why.
Yeah.
Cool, excellent, thank you. Ivan, tell us about your experiences either living or setting up abroad.
No, I didn't live abroad. I didn't have a chance to. I mean, I almost stayed living in Germany when I lost all my documents one time, but luckily I came back to Croatia. But yeah, we almost opened a company outside of Croatia, not this company that we have, but at one moment our idea was maybe to move the whole company outside of Croatia, but it wasn't possible because at that point we already had one investment that happened and investors inside of the company, and due to some law things in Estonia, because this company was from Estonia, we couldn't move it to the US where we had a plan to move it. So yeah, I would say that we were even like forced to stay in Croatia for the last 7 years since that investment happened. But yeah.
Okay, and what about, because obviously one of your first deals, as I believe, was with Australia.
Yeah. Can we skip that?
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, we had a pretty huge deal with Australia. I was reading it a couple of weeks ago again, just because it was really funny and idiotic in the same time, that whole situation. So it was back in 2016 when we started selling benches, and we had most of them were installed in Croatia. We had a lot of people that saw them in Croatia when they were on holidays here during summer, obviously. And some guys from Australia, they were actually, I think, born in Croatia or something like that. And when they got back to Australia, they contacted our embassy there and told like they want to connect with us, with our company. And I think that even somebody from some ministry called us, like we have some really big company from Australia that is doing some real estate down there and different things, and they want to cooperate with you. And we had a Zoom meeting, or at that time it was Skype, I think, not Zoom. And they told us like, we are interested in distributing your product, especially in our projects, because we are like literally building neighborhoods in different parts of Australia. And for us, it was like, wow, great. And then the guys from the ministry, they started like checking our company to see like if we are going to be good enough to produce the numbers that they're planning, because they didn't want to Croatia to be ashamed if we cannot deliver and things like that. And it was a huge pressure on us, like if they order, you really need to deliver, and etc. And at one point, the guy told us that these Australian guys are going to visit us in a couple of weeks, and that they want to sign a pretty big contract, like I think it was like 2,700 benches or something like that. And it was worth in euro, I think like 6 million euros. It was really a lot of money. And when they arrived, they will immediately order like 200 benches. And they arrived and they had like a sandals and a socks up to here. It was crazy. And we showed them like around the office and everything. And it was 2016. We didn't have a lot of money, so we spent like last few hundred of euros to like redecorate, paint everything to look like a real company. And we had 2 benches already produced down there that had to be shipped to one customer. We leave them there to just to show it to them, like how they look and everything, because we didn't have money to make a bench for ourselves. And they arrived, we took them on lunch, janjetina, obviously, you know, how it goes, and everything, good wine, and we signed the agreement. It was like really cool, and we were just waiting for them to say to us, like, we are now ordering 200 benches, and they just told us, like, bye, see you, and that was it. And they went back to Australia, and we were like, okay, maybe the guys forgot to order 200 benches, they will order when they go back to Australia. And a few weeks after that, no contact from them, nothing. And we called our embassy there, like, what's happening? You told us that they will order. And yeah, like, they will order, but it will take them a bit more time. And I don't know why we didn't Google those guys before. I don't even know why our ministry and embassy didn't Google those guys before. But when I Googled one guy, he had a photo in a police station like this. In Australia, and he was in jail for 10 years there. So, yeah. But we put it in all newspapers, not the fact that he was in jail, but that we signed the agreement with one big company in Australia. It was a huge hit here, like small company from Solin signed a 6 million euros contract. You know? It was a good, every PR is a good PR. Yeah. I always say it's like that. So nothing happened. Obviously they didn't order anything. I think that somebody from ministry was fired after that, not because of us, because of the whole situation, but actually because of that we were seen by some other companies in some other parts of Europe, actually European Union, that wanted to start doing business with us. And unfortunately, they didn't promise like 6 million euros contracts, but it was okay. So we started from somewhere. Yeah.
Excellent. Good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. Obviously, like lots of people here are interested about starting and growing and stuff. And you mentioned not Googling the guy and doing due diligence and things, which is a big thing here, because if people are coming and offering you money, as I know some of you also know, you got to check who that person is. Yeah. Are they really going to give you money? What's that?
Sales, you need a sales force.
Yeah. So yeah, good story to share. Okay, moving on to you, Mario. So, did you live in Ireland?
No.
You didn't live in Ireland. Did you live in Czech Republic?
Well, I spent some time there. I didn't live.
Yeah.
I would spend a lot of time there. So if you kind of sum up all the time that I spent in Prague, you could say that I lived there for maybe a year in total. But
America?
No.
No?
In Bosnia, yes.
In Bosnia, okay. Bosnia. Cool. So tell us then how you ended up with your first startup, where that came from, and then obviously what happened there.
Well, basically we had an idea, and we were just answering the need that we had internally to kind of manage the campaigns on Facebook at the time when Facebook didn't have really a platform for everyone to kind of manage the ads. So we had certain stuff done on Google. We knew how it works. We knew how much time we need to do something, and it took us an incredible amount of extra time to do the same on Facebook. So we kind of met two of us actually, Andrei and I, and talked about this because we worked previously. Andrei is my partner working in SeekandHit too.
Where's he from?
He's actually from Vojvodina,
okay,
but he's of Slovakian descent. So he studied in Slovakia, and well, if you know Vojvodina, you know that places there and towns are a bit different, where you have like a Hungarian town, Slovakian town, Croatian town, stuff like that, because history. But basically we met in a previous company that I was working in, and I was looking for developers, and I went on some developer forum and posted that was like a long time ago, 15 years ago or more, even more. And I said that I was looking for developers in Split. We weren't able to find them here, so he saw a post. No one did that at that time like that, when I was talking about the price of beer and what we do and stuff like that. So he said, yeah, sure, I'll move to Split. So he moved to Split. We met in Split for the first time, and we really clicked and worked together for some time. I then started a business on my own. And after some time, I kind of, when I had an idea, I got back to him and talked about it, and he's actually the tech guy behind the whole thing. So basically, we were just solving a problem that we had, and it kind of was a crazy thing to do at the point because that was 2011, and Facebook just announced that they will be having the ads platform available to everyone. They had the API interface available for just a selection of the companies, US companies, like 7 or 8 of them. And I was like naively thinking that we 4 guys from Split are able to do the same that they are doing. So we're talking about the billion-dollar companies testing the platform of the biggest social network. And by talking with the account manager in Ireland from Facebook that we had at the moment, I even flew there to talk with her. She actually said it's possible, and I went back to Split under impression that we will be able to work on that. And we met, we planned, we spent like 2 months writing down all the stuff that we need to have, prototyping the things, and I got back to her and said, okay, we're ready to kind of plug in to have the API to consume and work on it. And there was just a radio silence on the other side, so nothing happened. So we kind of tried to do a lot of other stuff too, like going on conferences and telling people that we know that are on conferences to talk with someone in Facebook, because we knew it's possible, but we kind of tried pushing all the time, you know. Conferences, emails, forums, social networks, people who work in Facebook, who worked in Facebook before, nothing worked. So we basically, after maybe 200 days of trying different things, we kind of made a landing page, micro page, 1-pager basically, with a big counter on it in real time that mentioned that we were in touch with the account manager in Facebook. She told us this and that, we will be able to do work on it, and this is how much time went from that contact. And we basically launched a Facebook ads campaign targeting people who work in Facebook, so HQ in California and HQ in the Ireland. So it's like a smaller audience, and we were advertising for 3 days, spent like $25, and we got an email from guys in Facebook and said, okay, we reviewed the stuff that you sent, let's talk about this, let's jump on a Skype call. And after 1 hour Skype call, they let us in. So basically we were like 10 companies that had the access, and just on that moment when we kind of did it, it really, we in the next 3 months, the guys Andre and the 2 more developers did like the impossible thing, like create the whole thing, the whole platform, having anyone who works with the APIs, and especially as APIs, knows how difficult it is, because it kind of requires a lot of time to kind of think about all the things that need to be in place, and also work alongside their breaking changes that happen on a monthly basis. They were all working whole thing, which means that you need to revamp the whole stuff again. And we started working on it, and we had the platform. And in the meantime, I spent some time reaching out to some people, because we had an idea to kind of have it for our clients, but we wanted also to have a little bit more, to have some kind of revenue from it, from the outside. And we got in touch over one tweet, basically, on Twitter, to guy that has the local online tech magazine, netokracija.com. Yeah, you know. And he was in Paris. At that time, it was like a biggest conference, basically what Web Summit is today. It was called Le Web. And he asked, who actually would you like to meet? You're not there, but I can do the intro for you. And I said, okay, this guy from Prague, from Social Bakers, is there. Can you talk with him and connect us? And he did that. And I just got an email at one point saying, Ivan tells me that you're doing some interesting stuff with the ads. Let's talk about it. And that was the beginning. So, yeah. We could talk a little bit more about that, but yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So, okay. So the 3 stories here, how they left Croatia without leaving Croatia, right? Obviously, with Dario, he was thinking about moving. decided to stay here, set up in Croatia, and then got the opportunity to go to Singapore, pitched potential investment from the government, said no, came back here, carried on, and you have a global network, right? With Ivan, Australian convict, makes it through that, builds his global network, and now you're growing further. Are you working with Australia now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are?
Yeah.
But not with them?
In New Zealand and Australia. Still.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And then Mario, we're talking about Mario's first startup here, who eventually exited to where were they from?
Bakers.
Social Bakers in Prague, yeah? So 3 stories. And where were you when you were doing all of this 200 days of annoying people? In Split. 200 days of annoying people in Split. Yeah, a bit of perseverance there. Okay, good. So good to hear about that. And what I want to know now is, you heard those experiences, you've touched on this a bit more, but how did you create that network of international partners? So, okay, you go to a startup conference, you have people get in touch with the embassy, you're sending emails and tweeting like Elon Musk, but how did you grow your network further? Where did you meet your other customers?
Yeah, so it's a good question. It's quite, well, it's concrete. I mean, this is something that you're often that's gonna often happen in business. So as always, the first one is the hardest. So getting the first customer is hard as hell. That's the most difficult part. Once you have the first one, the second will arrive, the third one will arrive, and then from that point on, if you have a good product, good team, it's a just trajectory which goes up. So getting the first client is basically, it's gonna get down to telling a story. So you don't have any references, you have a product, then basically you need to solve their problem and you need to convince them that you are the solution for solving that problem. So I know it's a quite generic answer, but basically just get the first one, use any tool available, get that first customer, because the first customer is the first reference, and from that point on, it just goes up.
Name 5 countries you're currently selling to. Or
Name-
three countries you're currently selling to.
Nicolina, do tell 3, which are quite exotic.
So Germany,
It's not-
Italy,
Those are not exotic. No. We have in Mauritius.
Okay, Mauritius is great. How did you get your Parklio in Mauritius?
It was easy. That's 50 something. From that point, it's easy. The first 3 ones were, of course, Croatia, Germany, I would say, France, and Italy.
And Mauritius came to you, or you went?
Yeah,
to
they can. Everybody's now. We're not being so proactive like with outbound campaigns because we already have built the identity, a brand on the market. So majority of the customers are not coming to us. So after the first one, it's really playing the park.
Okay, cool. Ivan, was it the same for you?
No, yeah, no. It's complex with our products because, first of all, our clients are usually not our users. Our clients are mostly cities and municipalities, and our users are obviously citizens. And then that's the first main thing that happens with our product. And then the second thing is when you are doing business with cities and municipalities, they expect a lot from you, especially in terms of maintaining the product. And when you ship something on the other side of the world, you cannot send people from... I mean, we did it. We sent people to Mauritius as well to fix some things. And it was quite expensive. But yeah, that's really a different thing with our product. So in 2016, most of our sales happened organically. So people in Croatia heard about us, and then they would call us and like, I'm a mayor of this or that city and I would like to buy your bench or something. And then after that summer in 2016, we started receiving calls from potential partners, Australia, but some other markets as well, because people saw it when they were on vacation, they liked it, they wanted to start distributing it on their markets. So that's how we gathered first few distributors in Slovakia, some other markets. And then, I don't know, it seemed to us like, let's try to do some real sales from our side, like not to wait to people to reach to us, but let's start pushing in a way that we are actively looking for new customers and for new distributors on some markets. And in the past 7-8 years, I can say it doesn't work for us. So it doesn't work that way. With customers, yes. Now today, when we have all these different products for air quality monitoring, waste management, new benches and everything. But for partners, it doesn't work that way. Usually, if you try to reach some company that you profile like a company that could work with you, like they are doing something with, I don't know, they are doing something with cities in France or Germany, in 99% of the case, they're not interested in start distributing your product. They don't have it in a plan, in a vision for this or next year or whatever. It works much better when the company reaches to us and tell us like, we saw your product somewhere in France, we are interested in doing some cooperation with you. And that's how we actually made some of the best partners currently that we have at the moment. So for us currently, how we work now is we have 3 different partnership models. You can be our partner, which is you buy products from us and then sell them on your market with some margin that you have on them. And you can also sign with us to be like a maintaining partner as well. If you want to maintain, we pay you if something gets broken. Then the other option is to be like a licensed reseller. That's when maybe you have a company, it's like one man show, you don't have enough money to buy product and then resell them. So you do all the sales and everything, but at the end we are the one who gives an invoice to the customer. He pays to us, and then we give you like 15 or 20% of the fee for that. And then we also have agency agreement, which is just basically a legal way of somebody can introduce us to some mayor, he's a friend of him, and he can sell like that, and then we pay for them. And that's how we work with partners. And then from direct sales perspective, we cover Croatia, obviously nearby countries, Slovenia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro. And we have our own sales team doing sales in for French market, German market, some other markets as well, where we are doing direct sales. So these are mostly people that previously lived there. They were mostly born there. At one point they moved to Croatia, and now they're working for us. And before the COVID started, we had a lot of those people in sales. Actually, we had 64 people in company in total. And then the COVID started, and it was pretty bad last 3 years. So currently we are around 30 people, but yeah, we are still doing the sales and everything in this way. Yeah.
What did you call the third model? Something?
So yeah, so we currently have Stiora, it's a smart bench. We have Terra waste containers, and then I call it Iris. Some people call it Aris. Some people I heard today like Iris. It's all the different combinations of that name, but it's I believe it's Iris. I don't know. I'm not sure.
And that is a
For air quality.
okay, excellent, thank you. Okay, and finally, Mario, tell us a bit about obviously landing some big clients in Czech Republic now for SeekandHit. How did you get those clients?
Well, I think that we don't have sales people. So when I started the business, I started as a blog. So in the first 2 years, I produced like 150 something articles about stuff that I've been doing. And that was actually the driver for the first clients to come in. And one of those clients was maybe the biggest or second biggest company in the travel industry in Croatia, Maestra, where I just solved a specific problem for them. They had their marketing department had a specific problem. They weren't able to solve it. And I just did it like they asked about a specific thing, and that was it, like a few minutes. And that actually drove me to the first big client. That was in parallel while I was still working in the other company. So I was working 8 to 4 and then going home and writing about the stuff that I was doing there. And basically went for maybe a year and a half before I was able to kind of quit and start my own business. So that was the moment, because I didn't have any money. I basically borrowed the money to buy the PC. So and that's how it started, and that's how we continued to work. When I was 1, when we were 4, when we were 10, we would produce a content of a certain type. Maybe it's blog, maybe it's a webinar, maybe it's something else. But we tried to kind of keep it online. We never really called anyone. The clients are basically our biggest ambassadors. So we kind of have people that changed in the last 15 years, maybe 5 companies. And we today work with those 5 companies because they were in the first one and changed the company, and the second one became the client. So it's extremely important for us to have great relations with the clients. So that's one of the things that one is employees, the second one is clients. So And that's how we built it. I mean, it took 15 years. Maybe if we had a sales department, we would do it a bit faster. But yeah, it's kind of our way of doing things. So
Perfect. A question that was asked a lot when we put the questionnaire out for people to sign up for this was about investment. So, talking about SeekandHit in particular, could you tell us, have you been through any investment rounds? What were they?
no, actually, we bootstrap everything. So basically, we kind of are a bit conservative when it comes to money, and we don't really felt that we need it. As I say, it kind of takes a bit longer for us, but we did it on our own with our own money, with our own time. We had offers along the way, but it never felt like a thing that we wanted to do because we didn't want to rely on a specific growth numbers. We kind of wanted to do it our own way. So yeah, it's all on us. Maybe it's better to ask these guys
No,
about
it's great because
yeah.
obviously your service, these guys are hardware.
Yes,
So, Ivan, over to you. Fundraising rounds so far?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, can you name all of them?
We raised in total 3.5 million euros.
Yeah.
And that's not enough money.
Yeah.
Because when you are a hardware company that really produce something, even if we had like 7 million euros, you would spend them until now. Because developing hardware is a really, I don't know, it's a completely idiotic thing to do. Yeah, a lot of problems. I don't know where to start, but I don't know.
What was your first?
Yeah, we are
what was your
just
first
idiots. I
investment?
don't know what to say. Except
What was your first investment?
So first investments was in 2017. We raised like 400,000 euros. At that time, it seemed like a lot of money. We didn't have it a few months later. We almost died. Then 2019, we raised 2.7 million euros. It looked like a lot of money. We almost died in 2020. Then last year we raised €500,000. We spent it in a couple of weeks. So, and I always say to the people like, "Do you see a jacuzzi here in the office?" No. So I don't know where the money went. It's not at my home, unfortunately. Yeah, it's just super expensive to develop hardware. You know, first of all you need to hire a lot of people, and if you want good people, they're really expensive. And we really wanted to have best people because we wanted to develop everything from the scratch. So when in 2019, before raising this huge round of 2.7 million euros, the company was still selling only the benches, the old model, the white ones that everybody knows about. And I was thinking like, if we now try to raise something, and I felt like we can really raise a lot at that point because we had pretty good revenues and everything was growing pretty good. We were profitable. That was actually the last time that we were profitable in the last 3 years. And I felt like it would be completely stupid now to raise like 2 or 3 million euros and spend it in just like redesigning the bench, which doesn't really make any sense. And the benches are really nice business, but it's not going to be scalable to some super huge numbers. Like you cannot make 20 or 30 million euros per year in selling smart benches. Maybe you can, but the market is not still ready for something like that. So we really wanted to move to the direction like, let's really build smart city company because that's what we think we are, but we are still not completely. And let's like really develop everything from the scratch, like the hardware platform and the software platform as well, and make like an ecosystem around our products. So literally from the scratch, we developed 3 completely new products and all the hardware inside of them. So the communication gateway that sends the data from the product to the platform is ours. And how we do it is you don't need to buy any SIM card or anything. You push the button and it works in 150 countries instantly out of the box. So we spend a lot of money to make something like that happen. Then we spend a lot of money on developing the platform because we first of all wanted that all of our 3 products can work in the same smart city platform. And because previously we had one platform for like 5 or 6 years that we were giving for free, we learned a lot from our customers because we gave it for free. We understand what they really need. And because mostly our customers are small cities and municipalities, we understood that they don't have money or infrastructure to to, I don't know, hire people in IT department to maintain the platforms and everything. So we wanted to make it really simple for them that it's like a no-brainer. You can use it and it connects all the smart city products that you have, not only produced by us, but also by a third-party companies. So this is something that we are currently now integrating inside of the system. So it was really expensive. We spent in 1 year more than 1 million euros only on the development, on paying people, and a lot of prototypes, because when you prototype something, if it doesn't work, you just need to move it to the like trash. It's not, it's spend money. And then the whole chip shortage situation, like the chips that we use were like less than €1. I don't know, that sounds a lot, but at one point they were like 20-30 euros, some of them. And yeah, we had some PCBs that had those chips on them. When we bought them, they were worth like 20 euros, and due to this chip shortage, they were worth almost 35,000 euros, and we did nothing with them because we really couldn't do anything with them. So it was really crazy situation. And yeah, and then obviously, because we wanted to produce all of that here in Croatia, we have a production facility of 550 square meters where we have all these huge machines, like some machines almost like half of this space here, that can cut huge steel sheets, and we bend it in the shape of our products. We do the painting, installing everything. The whole production of these guys there are producing the whole electronics, so we have our own pick and place and everything is done here. So we had to buy all those machines, and then we also wanted to develop a pretty like seamless system of from when we have somebody does the order until we ship it. We call it like on Croatian, it's like od narudžbe do isporuke, which is basically like people have a configurator, like a car configurator, where they can configure any kind of product that we have. They can like configure 250 different type of benches, for instance. And then it goes to our ERP system. Our sales just automatically does the offer for them. If they pay, it goes to our production facilities. That's why I say, like, if you had 7 million euros, we would spend them. It's really expensive thing.
And over to Dario, funding round so far.
Yeah, so I would just like to add on some of the things Ivan stated. So it's quite funny that
You've got, just to tell you, this is like Get in the Ring. You've got 2 minutes.
Oh, I have 30 seconds there,
Okay.
so it's gonna be on shorter, no worries. So yeah, it's quite funny to see that we have 3 guys here. 2 of them are doing hardware. That's just like borderline impossible. In Zagreb, we don't have 2 companies. In Split, there's 2 of us and Juliana with Gamma Chef. So basically, there are 3 companies. In Split, 0 in Zagreb. So yeah, split power. So I had a quite yeah, big time. I just got married recently, and I had an interesting discussion with my wife a couple of weeks ago about raising children. I said there's only one thing I'm going to forbid them, that's going to be developing hardware. I'm not going to allow them, because really it is ludicrous. As Ivan has stated, there's no amount of money which is enough. You can spend as much as you want. That's just crazy. So basically, as he has stated, and Mario too, there is no quality hardware company in the world which didn't get funded hardware-wise. So it's possible. It's borderline impossible to have a hardware company without investment. There is no happening like that. So basically, you need to get the money. And then we come to the part of being and living in Split and even in Croatia. So VC funds, if we can call them like that, are ridiculous in Croatia. There is really no right amount of funding. So the only way to do it is get a visibility to be, noticed by some our VC angel investor or something like that. So the only game in Split we can play is the game called visibility, trying to be as visible as possible so that somebody can see you and see the potential in things that you're doing. As Mario has stated, there's no point in hiding the things you're doing. You need to put them on the light. So yeah, in 2017, we got our first round of investment. It was 20k euros. Our valuation then was 1 million euros for the whole company. So we gave up 20% of our company for that amount. Those people they're still part of the company. We're like now more than friends than business partners, as the company from 2017 has been nothing but growing approximately 100% every year. So the things are going quite well. And we did in 2019, when the COVID strike, I mean, you always think every year you're going to learn something new, and then something that didn't happen in thousands of years happens. So COVID happened, and it was just overnight. So basically our suppliers cut the lines. We couldn't get anything. So we had the orders because we have distributors worldwide, but we couldn't get an single electronic chip from any country. So it was like, imagine having a run-up business, all the numbers are going up. One night they just say it's gonna stop. It's not happening. So I would say that was one of the most difficult moments in our career. We had 2 months of revenue being zero, completely zero. We have a company of 25 people, and you need to pay salaries, you need to pay suppliers, licensing for the hardware, all those things, and your revenue is zero. It was supposed to be 100,000 euros. Over the night, it's zero. And the month after that, zero. Third month, 20,000 euros, still nothing. So it was really a shitty time. But yeah, basically, we all learned something from it. So now we do the design of our products quite smart. We are not dependent on one supplier. We can always shift and things like that. So basically, yeah, you always
Investment round?
Second one was in 2019.
Yeah.
It was agreed on 5 million USD, and then the COVID stroke, and we received 7,000 USD by that point, 500,000. And the investors went broke, and we had the opportunity of suing them for not paying the whole money. And they said, if you will not sue us, we'll pay you 200,000 USD more. I had that letter, and I was in a position of having zero revenue. I couldn't pay salaries, and they said, you can sue us, you will get those 5 million, presumably. After the lawsuit, I'll give you 2,000 and pay salaries and try to find your way out. I took those 200, I wrote a letter, sent it with the lawyers, and as the life happens, at the same point in time, we got EU funding, so we got extra boost of money, and from that point on, it was just going up.
Okay, thank you. Okay, sorry to rush you.
Oh, no worries.
But we do have a couple more speakers tonight. These guys are going to be here later as well. And also, this is Split, Solin, Castella. You'll see them around. They can't hide. And you know where they work now, so they're probably there. He's obviously always in his factory bending metal. You're the person that stops me parking where I want to park.
Exactly.
And you're always attacking me with, like, we were looking at my feed today, just baby videos. What's going on? Kids getting hurt. Kids getting hurt. You do know. I know your people know. They tell me what they look at my... Anyway. Okay, cool. Round of applause for these three guys. Thank you.